Hi, I'm Tim Lesser with Leupold and Stephen. I'd like to take a few minutes to walk you through our Beaverton, Oregon facility where the world's most rugged, dependable rifle scopes are made. From the Rifleman to the VX7 line, it all happens right here. Let's start downstairs on our machine shop floor. I'm here on the shop floor with Arnie Perry. Arnie, how long have you been with Leupold?
I've been with the company now about 36 years.
And what is your position here at Leupold?
I'm a quality assurance supervisor.
Great. Well, thank you for your time. What are we looking at here? I see a lot of materials on racks here. What exactly is this stuff?
Well, this is our materials warehouse. All the components that we make to go into our scopes start with raw material. This is where we house the material and issue it out to the machines when we're ready to make those components.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at this and I see a lot of long material, long bar stock here. We're making relatively short scopes, so I would assume that there's a lot of that material that doesn't get used. It's turned off or it's turned into waste by the manufacturing process.
Exactly. But we can actually reclaim most of that material. We can bring it back into our reclaiming area. We can take the long stringy tips, extract the cutting fluids out of them, and reclaim that. Also break them down into smaller, finer chips, compact them, and sell them back to the reclaimers.
Sell them back. Okay, yeah. So when we sell those back, what we're doing is kind of regaining some of our cost on the materials to begin with, and that helps us keep the cost of the product a little bit lower for the end consumer.
Exactly.
So as we come in here, this looks to be a pretty sizable shop floor.
Right, we have approximately 25,000 square feet of area that we have just to house our CNC and machining centers.
What's going on in this machine? What are we seeing here?
Well, we're actually machining a VX1 eyepiece shell here.
So this is the eyepiece.
Correct.
Is this ready to go into assembly and be a finished scope part at this point?
No, we still have some finishing processes that we need to do to it. We have a rough finish process, and then we have the final finish that we'll put on it, either a gloss or a matte.
Okay. Great. Well, I think we might go take a look at how that works.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Arnie.
No problem.
I really appreciate it. And now I'm here with John Cargie, taking a look at some of the other manufacturing processes that happen here at Leupold. John, what are we looking at here with this machine?
Tim, this is one of 6 machines that we utilize for production of medium to small parts, some more complex than others. Average cycle time on these machines anywhere from 8 to up to about 25 seconds on our parts.
John, how long have you been with Leupold?
I've been with Leupold for 35 years, but my family association extends quite a bit longer, as my dad was with the company for 30 years previous to me.
Wow, so you probably have some great insights as to what's going on and some of the improvements that have been made.
I have seen years of machine technology.
What are we seeing here? What are these parts?
Tim, this is a part of a click adjustment on that we use on many of our scopes.
Okay, and so the reason that we see multiple heads, if you will, multiple spindles in there, is because it's going to be taking and doing multiple operations all on one machine?
That's one of the benefits of this technology, yes.
Okay, great. Well, if you have a few moments, do you think you could take us over and show us some of the finishing procedures?
Certainly.
That would be great. Thanks, John. So this is the place where we carry out the parts finishing process.
Yes, Tim. First steps to preparing the parts is sanding. You see main tubes in this area. We're graining the center of the scope, the turret as we call it here.
Okay. And then where does it go after it's been grained?
After graining, some of the parts come in for the glass bead finish for silver and matte. You've got the glass bead texture now in your left hand. It's very important that all the components on a scope have that exact same texture so that after anodized, that finish is gonna
matte.
be consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Terry.
How you doing, Tim?
Good, how are you?
Doing real good.
I was wondering if you could take a few minutes and kind of show us what you're doing.
I sure could.
Let's, actually, why don't we start with, how long have you been with Leupold?
I've been here 20 years now. I started in 1989 to present, and definitely very happy to be here.
And what is it that you're doing? What's your
Right now, we're taking our raw stock that's been delivered from our the warehouse. It's coming in is raw stock. We're wiping it down and putting it up onto the bar feeders, getting ready to go into a first operation machine, which are the Mazak quick turns.
Okay, and what are we making with this stock?
Right now, we're actually making the ring blanks themselves. Over here, we're making a 30 millimeter front ring coming off of this Mazak quick turn.
So now, are you a hunter as well?
Yes, I am. 20 years of hunting.
There's a lot of us that are hunters here at Leupold.
Yes, there are.
Nice
Quite a few. What's nice about it is to hear the different hunting stories and to find out all the good hunting spots. So it works out really nice.
It does. Well, what are we looking at here?
Over here we have our Haws. We're running a Mark IV ring. We're running 4 of them at a time, taking them and having the bottom features milled into them after they've already had the first op done on them. They've had the through hole done. They'll come over here, they'll have the bottom features milled into them and then drilled and tapped, ready to be split. And while that operation's running, the operator has time, so he'll come over and put them on here. We'll split them one at a time so they don't have to go back over to another operation, which is really cost effective to do it right here while the operator has free time. So we'll split them, take them, and then we'll separate them. We'll keep the bottoms from the tops and place them inside these baskets, which are ready to go right over to tumbling.
Okay. Now, I noticed you just took the top and just dropped it in with all the other tops.
Yes.
They don't need to be matched.
No, they're so precisionally tight tolerances on them. You can mix match any of these tops with the bottoms. They all fit together.
Now, before any of these scopes can be built, obviously we need to do some considerable engineering and design time. Let's head upstairs and take a look at how that goes. Now we're in the model shop that helps support our research and development activities here at Leupold. We've got Steve Hodge. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Tim.
Good to see you. Do you have just a few minutes to kind of walk us through what it is you do here?
Absolutely.
Okay. What is involved in getting the right lenses for the optical prescriptions that we use?
We have a team of engineers here, of optical engineers specifically, that design all of our optical systems. They do the prescription from start to finish, spec out the quality and the materials of the glass, and then we send that to these specialized grinding houses that actually produce the lenses. In order to get good quality lenses, you've got to partner up with somebody that does this full time, and that's their core competency. And it's such a specialized field to grind lenses that not just with rifle scopes, but with just about any optical device, they go to these large houses to source ground lenses.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I think we're going to keep moving and look at some more things, but I
Great.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. And now we're in one of the optics labs here at Leupold, and we've got Brad Brumfield. Brad?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, do you have just a second to walk us through some of the things that you're doing here?
Sure. Here I'm working on a rifle scope design. We do all of our optical prescriptions here. When we're working on an optical prescription, we're designing for things like field of view, eye relief, transmission, resolution. Everything you see in the catalog specs is done by design.
Okay.
Now, once we finish optical prescription, we test every lens individually before they go into a product, as well as every product once it's been completed. What you see over here is a single lens under test for wavefront error, and you can see that 10th wave error is really good. We test everything to ISO standards. Leupold is actually the U.S. representative for telescopic systems for ISO. So we not only test to ISO standards, but we also helped establish those standards.
Great. This is great information. Thank you, Brad.
You bet.
David?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Do you have a couple minutes to kind of walk us through what you're doing here?
Sure.
All right.
This room is a live fire simulation lab. We have special machines created just for Leupold that simulate live fire up to any type of caliber and gun weight.
Basically what you're doing is simulating recoil and then checking for point of impact shift. So in the field, what we're trying to test is whether they're going to shoot a tight group.
Exactly.
Now, it seems to me that there would be some application for during the design process too. So if we had a new line that was coming out, we might be able to run some tests ahead of time.
Exactly. All new products have to go through this room.
No, it seems like that would help the customer from being the guinea pig, from being the one who needs to do the testing. We can do it all ahead of time, make sure that the scope works.
Exactly.
Like it should.
This room is to make sure that our lifetime warranty is easily valid.
Now we can take a look at where all of these components that we've manufactured so far turn into a completed scope. Let's go take a look in the clean room. Diana, how long have you been with Leupold?
In November, it'll be 35 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
What is your role here at Leupold?
I'm supervisor over the VX2 products here in assembly.
Okay. And what are we looking at right here in this area?
This is where we build all of our click adjustments.
Okay, so these are the adjustments that do the windage and elevation.
Yep.
It seems like a lot of parts for one adjustment. How many parts are going into one adjustment?
One adjustment takes 11 different parts.
What are we seeing out in these areas here?
Okay, this immediate area here is the VX3 area.
Okay.
And then you have sub-assembly area, and then at the far end of the room is the specialty area.
Specialty stuff. Okay, and these sub-assemblies that you're talking about, is that basically taking a lot of the smaller pieces and making one larger piece, like the adjustments? We're putting the 11 pieces together?
The only difference between them is that we're dealing with lenses where they don't have any.
Okay, so a sub-assembly is like the erector system.
Yes.
Okay. This is a pretty big area. How many people are in the clean room here?
There's 112 people, and we do have 2 shifts.
2 shifts. Well, it sounds like you definitely keep busy.
Yes, we do.
What are we seeing here?
Okay, this is the VX2 line.
Okay.
They bring the orders down, sub-assembly parts are put in the sub-assemblies, and the rest of them are put on the main tube line.
Okay. And so it goes down the line here, and they put the various pieces, the adjustments, erector system.
Right. Starts out with the main tube prep, get the main tube ready, and then it goes down. As it goes down the line, each different part gets put in. Systems, reticles, eyepieces, objectives, and then it goes on to collimation. That's the very last station, and what he's doing is he's adjusting those outside lenses so that they line up with the reticle.
Okay.
What we call collimation. That way
all right.
the hunter can hit what he's shooting at.
Sure. Well, that's an important aspect.
Yeah. This is our water test. We dunk every scope we build goes into the water test to check for leakers.
Okay, so we don't just test a small population, we test every single scope?
Every single scope goes in there. And then it comes down here and they put the dials on, and depending on the type scope, it gets the proper dial.
Okay.
Flows down here. This station here, they're doing another mechanical check.
So they're checking the scope again after they put the dials on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Between the assembly process and getting ready to go for the adjustment covers, how many times does a scope get checked?
5 times.
5 times?
5 times.
Because we start with raw materials and build every scope right here, we can customize the manufacturing process with special ordered colors, bullet drop compensation dials, ballistics reticles, and even custom engravings. It also means that we can stand behind that legendary full lifetime guarantee that comes with every Leupold rifle scope. And you can rest assured that any customization or service work performed on an existing Leupold rifle scope is handled right here by the same experts who built it. Taking a look around the factory, you can see that the entire Leupold family shares an absolute dedication to quality, performance, and service. Most of us are avid hunters and shooters ourselves, and all of us shares a passion for our customer and understands that the best way to get a job done right is to do it yourself. Thank you for taking the time to join me on this tour. We'll see you next time.